Recently, you may have heard some news about a new compliance rule from the NFA that effectively prevents Forex traders from hedging. Hedging might be defined as having a long and short position both open on the same currency pair at the same time. I'm sure there are some legitimate reasons why the NFA has chosen to make hedging not possible in the Forex spot market, although hedging has always been a legitimate trading technique used by banks and large institutions to offset risk. One possible reason might be that if in the retail Forex market many brokers are actually hedging the position of their customers, that is, automatically assuming the opposing position. And this doesn't mean trading against the customers, and that's something that we'll talk about more in greater detail in another video. But if the retail Forex brokers are assuming the opposing position of their customers, then if the customer is also entering a position both long and short at the same time, and then the broker also is entering a position long and short at the same time, it would kind of make things difficult, I guess. And I don't really understand how all that works, but I have some experts from the Forex broker industry who are going to come and help to explain how all this works to the Forex trading community. Now, hedging by itself is not necessarily a productive thing for a Forex trader to do, because as soon as you enter a trade in both directions, it's the same as if you're not trading. So what's the point? And in this discussion, we're not talking about entering two trades in opposite direction specifically for gaining the difference in interest, although for some people that may be a legitimate investment strategy. For me as a trader, the purpose of trading is to enter a trade and to get the profit on the trade. Now, if you look at this chart of the pound versus the yen, this is the daily time frame, and we could say that from around January the 25th, this pair has been going up. Now, if we were in a long-term trade, and this would apply to any time frame, by the way, we might be trading this entire move in one trade. On a shorter time frame, these moves down might also be legitimate trades that we might want to enter in the opposite direction on a different time frame at the same time, and that's a very legitimate trading strategy, I believe. Because our trading method identifies trades on all time frames, we often have the opportunity to enter trades on different time frames, some in the same direction and some in the opposite direction. We have also found that by studying the strength and weakness of all the currencies against each other, we can make even better trading decisions and will never need to hedge on the same currency pair. For instance, you may know that a lot of the currency pairs are closely correlated with each other. That is, they make very similar patterns and often move in the same direction. Take, for instance, if you were going to trade the pound versus the yen. You might also watch the euro versus the yen on the same time frame and see that it's been doing a very similar thing, not exactly the same. So, just for instance, if you take these two pairs, the pound versus the yen and the euro versus the yen, and then you study a third pair, which is the euro versus the pound, you can see which of these two currencies is the strongest and which of these will be the strongest against the yen. If on the daily time frame for the euro pound from around the 18th of March, this pair has been consistently moving down for many days, we know that the euro has been steadily weakening against the pound. And therefore, if you were going to go short on either the euro yen or the pound yen, the euro yen would definitely be a favorable pair to go short at this time. And if you measure the movements that have happened during this time, you will see that in this case the euro yen has been a more profitable pair to trade for going short during this time. Now, during this time, if you wanted to enter any positions long on a shorter time frame, the pound yen might be a favorable pair to choose instead of the euro yen, and you might even get more profit by hedging the pound yen against the euro yen instead of having two trades on the euro yen. If you watch this and make a note of it, it can greatly enhance your ability to make more profitable trading decisions. So here's an exercise that we do at least once or twice a week. I'm going to take the first currency, which is the euro. I'm going to compare it to the yen. And I'm going to say that on the daily time frame, the euro yen is going down. Now, you may want to make an Excel spreadsheet to document this, or you may want to just write this down on a piece of paper. The euro versus the US dollar has been moving down on the daily time frame. I will also note that this is a corrective move down on the daily and not an impulsive move, and I'm expecting another impulsive move up. On the 4-hour, the euro has also been moving down against the US dollar, but it's in a corrective move currently. So that just means that I'm expecting an impulsive move up for the euro versus the dollar. But right now, the euro is weakening against the US dollar. So then I will proceed to see how the euro is doing against the pound, against the Aussie, against the Swissy, against the Canadian, and even against the Kiwi. Then I'll go to the next pair, and perhaps I'll take the yen, and I'll see how it's doing against the euro, against the dollar, against the pound, against the Aussie, against the Swiss, against the Canadian, against the Kiwi. So I'm just going to write down the euro yen is going down on the daily and the 4-hour time frame. That means that the euro is weakening against the yen for this week and for this day. Now, this demonstration is being made on April the 20th, 2009, and at this time I've written down that the euro is weakening against all the currencies except for recently the Kiwi, and that's an indication that the Kiwi might be one of the weakest currencies right now at this time. The overall pattern on the daily time frame for the euro against several of these currency pairs may be corrective on several of them, but it is most especially recently corrective on the euro versus the dollar and the euro versus the Swiss. That's not so important, but all you need to know is that, is it going down right now or is it going up? And the euro has been going down against all these other currencies except for the Kiwi, and we may be at a turning point for the euro versus the Kiwi as well. The euro versus Kiwi made 5 waves up recently on the 4-hour, and it's probably going to correct to those 5 waves, and it might make another 5 waves up. And that entire pattern may turn out to be an ABC correction in a downtrend or whatever. But we just want to find out whether they have been going down or up so that we can get an idea of what are the strongest and weakest currencies for this week. Now, when I go to the yen, I'm going to write down whether the yen is weakening against the euro. Not whether the euro yen is going up or down, but whether the yen is weakening against the euro or strengthening, and so on. So then you can take the results of this project and determine what are the top 3 weakest currencies at this time for today and this week. And I would say at this time it'll be the Kiwi, the euro, and the Swiss are the weakest of the currencies, and the top 3 strongest currencies are the yen, the Canadian, and the US dollar. Even though the movement of the US dollar, for instance, is corrective against some of the other pairs, as for today, for this week, this is the results that we have. So we have 2 pairs with the most contrast for going long: the Canadian Swiss and the US dollar Swiss. And then that gives us 6 pairs with the most contrast for going short, which are the Kiwi yen, the Kiwi Canadian, the Kiwi US dollar, the euro yen, the euro Canadian, and the euro US dollar. Now, still, that doesn't mean that my trading plan is to go short on these 6 pairs and to go long on the other 2 pairs. This just tells us which pairs currently have the most contrast for going long and which pairs have the most contrast for going short. Now you want to take that one step further and apply it to the pairs that you normally trade. Then among the pairs that you normally trade, just find out which ones have the most contrast, strongest against the weakest. And then for hedging, find a correlated pair, such as the pound US dollar is very closely correlated with the pound yen, and the euro yen is very closely correlated with the pound yen. And if those are three pairs that are included in the pairs that you normally trade, you could use this information to decide which of these pairs you plan to go long on and which of these pairs you plan to go short on, if any long or short entries occur this week. And then if you enter a pair and you go long on a longer term time frame and a short opportunity occurs on a shorter time frame, you would choose the other pair that has favorable conditions for going short. If you normally trade the euro versus the US dollar, this is the euro versus the dollar on the daily time frame. This applies to any time frame. You might also from time to time look at the pound versus the US dollar, and sometimes it makes somewhat similar patterns. This is the pound versus the dollar on daily time frame. This applies to any time frame. All you would do is go to the euro versus the pound and see that the euro has been weakening against the pound consistently for several days, and therefore if you were going to take any short entries this week using your normal trading method, any entry for going short, you would prefer the euro versus the dollar this week. And if there are any entries for going long this week using the entry method that you normally use for going long, you would take those entries on the pound versus the US dollar. And if you enter any trades long and short at the same time, you would enter the long trades on the pound versus the US dollar and the short trades on the euro versus the US dollar, because the euro is weakening against the pound this week. And consequently, your results would actually be better. In most cases, you would see more profit in the short trades on the euro versus the dollar and more profit during the same time period on the long trades on the pound versus the dollar instead of the euro versus the dollar. So you don't have to necessarily use this project to trade these particular pairs. All you need to do is to use this project to determine which of the correlated pairs you normally trade would be better for going long and which would be better for going short, and then if you're going to do any hedging, trade accordingly. The next thing is to be aware of the patterns and the end of trends and the end of corrections, obviously. So if you're looking at one of these charts and you see that it has been going down, just in general, after a pair has gone down, it's more likely for it to go up. After a pair completes an uptrend, it will begin a correction down. After a pair completes a downtrend, it will begin a correction up. After a pair completes a correction up, it will continue a downtrend. After a pair completes a correction down, it will continue an uptrend. So if you notice that this week a certain pair is weaker against all the other currencies, notice also that it could be very likely that it's about to turn and either correct in the opposite direction or continue a trend in the opposite direction. Once you are clear about how this works, you will realize that you will never need to enter a trade in both directions on the same currency pair, and that is, you will never need to hedge. If you want to enter trades in the opposite direction on the same currency pair, chances are you will get better results entering trades in the opposite direction on two different pairs.